All right, guys, we're going to get into a new reaction video. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, support the podcast, guys. Let's get into it.
All right, let's play the video.
This is something men really underestimate when they're picking a partner. They look for whoever they like and they think that they can change a woman, and they think if they treat a woman well, if you court her correctly, she's all yours. But I always say your competition is her childhood. If she had a chaotic childhood, you can give her and offer her the most stability there is to be found, but she will reject it. She will seek chaos and she will glorify chemistry. Whereas if you choose somebody who's had a stable upbringing, lots of love, when you give her love, she reciprocates it. But when you give it to somebody who's come from a broken home and a broken background, when you give her love, she then sabotages it.
All right, so to start off with, the woman in the video is Sadia Khan. So she's got videos all over the internet right now, and she basically talks about dating and female psychology. And I gotta say, I like her videos. I've watched some of her content. She basically just kind of tells it how it is. She's not very like biased on it. She doesn't just give like a female delusional view on it. She kind of just tells it how it is. And I think this was a great video, and there's a lot of truth to what she's saying. I don't agree with every single thing she says in her videos, but I thought this one was very true, and I wanted to talk about it today. So
yeah, she did make a lot of good points. You go through the video, and she's saying some things starting from the top, where she's saying that a man needs to change for a woman, and I think that's a little tough because a man shouldn't have to change for a woman. A woman's coming into a man's frame, therefore a woman should adjust to a man and really look to follow his lead, because at the end of the day, the man's the prize. That's what I disagree on.
the overall message, before we even break this video down, the overall message I got out of what she was saying is that men underestimate what could happen when you kind of put effort into the wrong woman. So you notice she said men underestimate that when picking a partner, they look for what they like. Very true. I'm not going to lie. We tend to go for what we like, which is usually how a woman looks, like that initial attraction. And they think they could change a woman if they court her correctly and treat her well. She's all yours. I thought that was very interesting because it's very straightforward. And I do have to agree with her on that. I think this is kind of what she's describing. The word that pops to my mind is like simping. What is simping? What she just described. It's when you try to court and please a woman that has issues, or a woman that's not interested in you, or a woman that's just bad news. That's the baseline of simping right there, what she described.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you compare the chaotic type of woman to the more stable woman, I agree with her with those parts. I definitely agree with her with those parts. A guy that should be going after the chaotic woman is more of a bad boy type of guy. And the guy that should be going after the more stable woman should be the good guy. So let's dive into that, because I agree with her when she says that. She says that the chaotic woman is the one that may not be receptive to what the good guy does. So good guy buys her flowers, opens her doors, treats her well, is really, really giving her the pretty much 110% every time they go out, they attempt to go out. But when you're dealing with a chaotic woman, that might be cut short. You might not have many chances to impress her because she might be turned off first date.
What I found very interesting is, and again, you're hearing it from a woman, because normally when guys talk about women with daddy issues, I think we get hate for that because women hear that and they think we're being judgmental or somehow trying to put them down. But you just heard it from a woman who's a self-proclaimed dating expert and expert on female psychology. She said it. If the woman has a chaotic childhood, is what she said. Okay, that might mean daddy issues. That might mean a broken home. That might mean a household where the parents are drug addicts or alcoholics. It could go a variety of different ways. But what she basically said in the video is that if you try to court or please a woman that had a chaotic childhood, the harder you try to like please her, the more you will basically push her away, because she won't accept that. She'll just push it away because she's gonna always refer back to that chaos. And like as they get older, from what she's saying, they crave that chaos. So a normal relationship is not. It doesn't fit into her reality. That's not how she was programmed. You know.
Exactly. It's not how she grew up. She grew up in that chaotic household, as you said. We can run a list down. Chaotic could be anything.
Number of things.
You know, it could be, unfortunately, a death in the family. It could be a health issue that a family member had, or a family member, you know, father, mother that wasn't around. It could be an unfortunate amount of circumstances. But the thing is that good guy trying to match with that type of woman is not going to work. She wants the bad boy. She wants the guy that is going to break her heart. She wants the guy that's going to rebel against her. She wants the guy that's going to be arguing with her. That's the type of guy that she's going to attract. That's the type of guy she does not want, but she puts it out there that that's what she wants. So deep down, she doesn't want somebody like that. But at face value, she's going to put it out there and say, this is the guy I want. Her energy, her attitude is going to radiate into the world that's the type of guy that she wants, and that's the type of guy she's going to attract, unfortunately.
She basically countered it in the second part of the video, and she said that on the other hand, if you find a woman that comes from a loving, caring household, a normal family, if you will, that she'll accept what you're doing for her. And I think this video is like what she said is so crucial in like a lot of what we talk about, because I think people hear these type of videos and they think that this is like coming from a place of hate or something like that. You heard her say it herself. That is the difference between a woman that comes from a normal household, a normal family, and a woman that comes from a broken family or broken household. Those are the women that tend to be party animals, crazy. They sometimes end up becoming strippers or OnlyFans girls. That's the result of it. Has nothing to do with our opinion. That's just how they end up turning out. So, you know, I think the lesson in this video that she was trying to point out to guys is that, like, don't underestimate how a woman can be based on her childhood, and don't ever try to like somehow think you're going to fix her. Like they call that Captain Save-A-Ho. You're never going to do enough to change a woman like that.
Absolutely not. You can't, in life, you can't really change anyone. You know, people have their habits, they have their way of life, and sometimes it's difficult to change that. But just like I was saying earlier in the video, if a woman wants to be a part of a man's life, she has to fall within that man's frame. She has to adjust to him if she really wants that guy, if she really likes that guy. Now, before I get into that further, let's talk about now the stable woman, the woman that grew up in the stable household. She had mom and dad there. You know, dad protected her, you know, from all the bad things, and, you know, and told her that, you know, this is what you have to do. This is how things have to go. She was really her, you know, physical protector. Mom was more of the nurturer. You know, she was there giving her what she needed at home, you know, all the love that she needed. That's the type of mixture mom and dad gave that woman, and that helped her, and that brought her up to be a loving woman, a caring woman, very nurturing as well, you know, very loving as well. And that's going to work for that good guy. That's going to work for the guy that's giving that woman flowers, buying her chocolates, taking her out for a nice dinner, opening the door for her. You know, giving her that love. She's going to reciprocate that love because that's how she grew up.
That is the result of, and that is why it's so important for a woman to have a household where she has a female and a male role model in her life, because like you just described, if she grew up with a dad that was caring, protecting, XYZ, right, it is going to set the baseline for how she's programmed to interact with men when she gets older. Take women with daddy issues as a prime example, right? A woman with daddy issues either, sadly to say, grew up without a father, or the father was an alcoholic, or she just didn't have a good relationship with the father. She is now from a young age being programmed to have a negative outlook against men as she gets older. Okay. And sometimes what happens is these women get older and they become very chaotic, or they have really strange dating patterns where they date guys that are much, much older than them because they're seeking that male comfort or validation from older men. So that's really what she's saying in the video. So I think, as you know, what I would take from this video is you have to kind of establish that early. Like if you meet a new woman, you have to kind of figure out early on. And a lot of podcasts, a lot of dating YouTube channels talk about this. Try to figure out what her relationship is like with her family. If she has a strong relationship with her family, or she comes from a normal household, it's a very good sign. It's a green flag. It's a good start. If you find out that she comes from a broken household, like she said in the video, no matter what you do down the line, you're going to have a very hard time.
Yeah, men should target the woman that grew up in that stable household, because they'll most likely be giving what they're expecting to get back, and that's the love.
Yeah. It's an environment that she grew up in, so it's gonna be familiar to her, as she described. If she comes from a chaotic household, she's never gonna feel right in a normal healthy relationship. And I think that's something that sadly is gonna just continue throughout. That pattern will continue throughout her life. So
yeah. What I disagree though with what she said at the beginning is that men underestimate a partner and think they can change a woman. You know, realistically, men only have a certain amount of options, so they really pick who they can get. You know,
yeah, that's the reality nowadays.
If a guy is just looking for a woman that he likes, if he likes a woman, he'll ask her out, and if she likes him, you know, she'll reciprocate. But if she doesn't reciprocate, there's no, you know, trying to change a woman. It's a, you know, we're done. She's over with, working on to the next woman. Because again, most men out there are average men, and only the high value men have the luxury of being picky and choosy when it comes to dating and women.
And you know, what's crazy about all this is I think generally when men try to court a woman, they try to be good to her, XYZ, you know, they try to be a good boyfriend or whatever. I think this is all just like programmed into us. You know what I mean? I think this is just like naturally how we are. So what you said is true. Like, you know, guys have limited options, especially average guys. You're going to have very limited options. You're going to eventually pick one girl, and you're going to like start to have those traits, right? You're going to take her out to eat, you know, be monogamous with her, so on and so forth. I think the main thing is to just be careful who you do it with, because if you see that the girl's a little bit, you know, the what's the saying, the lights are on but nobody's home type, you're gonna set yourself up for failure. Because what does happen is guys will put effort into a woman over and over again, and like what she described is the woman she won't accept it. She'll cheat, start talking to other guys, or she'll ghost them or something like that. That's a sign of a woman that comes from a household like that. And it could happen to any guy, to be honest with you.
Let's not downplay the fact that there are women that, even though they grew up in a stable household and they're good women and all this stuff, they'll still cheat.
Of course.
They'll still do things that are wrong.
Of course.
So you can't really still be that good guy, per se. You know, you kind of have to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, keep it spontaneous and you know, have a little bad boy in there. Have some good guy in there. Nowadays, in the dating society, in the society that, you know, we have with dating in 2023, you can't really be a full-on good guy anymore.
Nope.
That really,
modern women don't respect it.
they don't.
They say they want that. They don't want that.
They don't, unfortunately.
Their actions don't match that at all.
Exactly. So that's really my thoughts on that. And nothing's foolproof. Nothing's 100%. Go out there as a guy, and if you like someone, go up to them, talk to them, ask them out. And if it doesn't work out, on to the next.
Yeah. I'll end it by saying, you know, again, what I got out of this video, don't put too much effort into a woman that clearly has issues or came from a broken household, because you'll never get her to play her role in the relationship. You'll never have a healthy relationship with a person like that. So this is obviously just one small aspect of dating. This isn't like a make or break it type of rule, but I think this was a really important one, and I really like this video. So
all right, guys, subscribe for more. We have plenty of clips coming up and plenty of good gems for you. So don't miss out. Subscribe to the channel.